Thinking of doing some work on your home, maybe you want to make some upgrades in your kitchen or your bathroom, you need to know where to start, and you need to know what common mistakes to avoid. To help you with that, we have Laura Red from Laura Red Interiors with us today. She's taking your questions about the remodeling process, the do's and the don'ts, everything that you need to know. Here's how you get your question to our expert today. You text us that question. The number is 336-379-5775. Remember, it is text only, so please don't call. All right, Laura, first and foremost, let's talk about what do we do when we're getting started? What do we need to think about?
So you want to think about, what are you doing? Are you doing a kitchen or a bath? What do you love? Are you a chef? Do you like to entertain? What is the space going to do? That's where we start, because you don't want to start at the end and go, oh, I wish I had done. So that's where we want to start, is the planning process, whether that's drawings, coming up with ideas on Pinterest, or Houzz. If you don't know what Houzz is, Houzz, that is a professional network of people who work that are designers, builders, architects, a great way to see work from all over the world, not just locally. It's one of my favorite.
Okay, so you got to start with the plan. You got to think about what you're going to build, and then the last thing you have to do is you have to hire a contractor. So let's talk about that, because hiring a contractor, sometimes that's really where the whole project goes to the problem area.
It is. It really is. And you want to look at, like, have they done things in your neighborhood? Everybody's putting signs out, right? Have you talked to a friend, a family member? Maybe they've had somebody, and you want to learn if it was a good experience or a bad experience. All remodels have problems. That's something to remember. All remodels, you're starting from somebody else's work and coming forward. How did they deal with that problem? That's super important. Another way to find a professional is going through a builders group. So here in Greensboro, we have the Greensboro Builders Association, and we actually have a remodelers council. This is a group of professionals that have their license and they are ready to go. And that's a great way to check if someone is referred. Are they in the remodelers council? Because you have to be referred and have qualifications to be there.
All right, so a lot of times people say, yeah, I can do that job, but they shouldn't legally be doing that job. So what is the sticking point when it comes to contractors?
Certainly. So any project over $30,000 does not have to actually have a general contractor. So the other thing to know is the difference between a general contractor and an independent contractor. An independent contractor does not have their license. Now, let me just say one thing. I've worked with a lot of independent contractors, and they were fantastic. So don't rule them out just because they don't have their license to do things. A lot of good old boys don't have that. If you're putting in like new electrical, new plumbing, things that are going to require that kind of extensive work, I would recommend hiring a professional, someone that does have electrical, plumbing, contract, and license, so that they know how to connect it into what you already have, or if what you have isn't compatible, they don't jerry-rig it, because that's the worst.
Okay, so when you are hiring a contractor, what is kind of like the rule of thumb? Do you just kind of have a discussion? Do you put things in writing? What kind of things do you put in writing?
So your first meeting should be really about the plan that you want and how they will implement it. And see how he asks and works with you. Is he asking you questions, or is he just kind of saying, I'll do. And that's not good. You want a partnership and a relationship. Once you get to the actual decision that you're going to use this contractor, he will have a contract that will basically outline your project, and you should have the details. That's what's super important. And then the two of you are going to work together. You should really like this person. You're going to spend a lot of time with them in a tough place.
Right, and you're going to be giving them some money too. So make sure that you have it written out, when things are supposedly supposed to be done, what things are supposed to be done, all the little lines of all those kinds of things. So that way you don't have any kind of miscommunication. All right, last but not least, let's talk about some mistakes that people make when they start one of these projects.
Exactly. One of the biggest mistakes is not having your project planned correctly, having your product ordered. You should have cabinets and countertops and lightings and faucets and all of that planned and ordered before you begin. We all know about delays, supply chains, and product scarcity. You want to be sure you're taking care of that. And at the end, your project should be what you wanted it to be. If you haven't conveyed your ideas and he doesn't know what you want, I've seen it turn out that you don't actually get the kitchen or bath that you had hoped for. So making sure you communicate well.
Okay, and that is getting the design brought up at the beginning. I guess you kind of feel like the design is always going to be up at the beginning. So how does that not happen?
So a lot of times people don't think that they need a designer, or they'll pull a Pinterest page or something and say, here, copy this. But that doesn't work because your walls of that house aren't the Pinterest page. So that's where the planning absolutely has to start at the beginning. And you can have drawings done. You can do 2D and 3D drawings. So you literally can see it before anything happens.
Good point. Okay, actually see it. Don't just talk about, I think I want new cabinets. That's not
Exactly. You can really see a full-scale drawing.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We're going to be taking your text questions when we come back. 336-379-5775.